Troutbeck is like 15 miles from here, and it's a place that I'd driven by 5,000 times. And it wasn't until 2000 that I learned that it had this remarkable history, that connections to the NAACP in the early days of it. It was a haven for the artists of the Harlem Renaissance. Like, I knew nothing about this, so the idea is if there's stories like that right under our nose, let's find them and tell them and connect them to a national narrative.
The Troutbeck Symposium, established 3 years ago, gathers students from over a dozen public and independent schools to share stories that have been lost, buried, or ignored within their communities.
I think what's interesting about these stories is this idea that all history is local and kind of like a little hobby is absurd. Like, history happens in localities and then moves up to the national level. They're all connected. I know the College Board, like the kind of standard, this is the test, the AP people, those folks, they actually have had commissioned studies that have learned that learning this experientially, learning this through connection, through projects, actually results in higher test scores. So I do think that we're on the cusp of something exciting that could really change the way students learn history.
In 2020, 2 students created a short documentary about a local black family whose roots trace back to the Pequot Wars. A local business with its own historical roots, the Troutbeck Inn offered a venue for students to share their work. Inspired by this offer, Mr. McCrisky invited teachers from across the region, sparking the first symposium. Since then, guests and speakers from across the country have attended, and it's grown into an annual tradition, expanding every year with more teachers, students, and projects.
I think one of the problems with history as it's taught in schools is it's given to you in a textbook with questions in the back, and that's this is what you need to know, this curated material. Now, I'm not denying that textbook has information that's important, but it also leaves out a lot. So I think a far better exercise is not to have history students, but to have students as historians. The students are the ones who are going out and doing the research. The students are the ones that are connecting it. The students are the ones who are taking the connections and building it and establishing what the narrative is on their own.
This hands-on way of learning history became super popular. Students loved it because it was fun and exciting, and teachers liked it because they could show how local history connects to bigger stories about the country. Their research has showcased through films, posters, artwork, and performances.
My pushback anytime I hear about banning or not running this course is like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of stories? Because stories are helping us learn about ourselves. If we don't know our stories, it's like walking into a movie halfway through and trying to figure out how the movie started.
Troutbeck is actually about something more than even just acceptance. And that's why I keep coming back, because what the kids do here is not just accept the history that happened, but then they take it to the next stage, and you can see it, they're thinking about it. And we even saw it in some of the presentations. That 6th stage is moving from acceptance to action. The kids want to do something now with what they have learned. That's what is so powerful about this gathering.